All right, we're gonna start trying to do a little bit of back and forth. We'll do a reading, maybe one video, and then do kind of a question to ponder in the next video. Go back and forth whenever I get the time. Um, we are finishing out Leviticus soon, so don't worry, we're not done with the Bible readings. I just also wanted to kind of shake things up a little bit to see if I can come up with some new ideas. And I've just been sitting here literally for the past 20 minutes thinking about what can I do? What can I make a video of that would make people interested? And that connected to something that I heard earlier this weekend and also today is, how do you get people, but specifically the question I was posed is how do you get younger people interested in church? Is church supposed to be fun? Because that's what a lot of people like right now. It's like, well, even older people, as humans, we want to do things that we're going to like and have fun, and it's something that we want to do. And honestly, it's something that I did struggle with because I went away. I mean, ever since I graduated high school, it took me like a good 7-ish years. It wasn't until I met my fiance that I started to really get back into church and going weekly, and becoming part of our leadership team. Ironically enough, I'm the leader in charge of outreach. So the question of how do you get people to come into church and to understand that it's not something that is fun, but it's necessary. It's definitely been something I've struggled with to think about how to do that. You can do a couple of events, like we did a free popsicle passing out this past Saturday, and we had some people traffic by. But if you sit out with free popsicles, most people, if they see you in front of a church, it's okay. If I take a popsicle, what am I going to get roped into? Like, am I going to have to, sit and listen to a 10-minute spiel about religion? Which I'm not saying is a bad thing because it's never bad to talk about religion. But the whole stigma of that if a church is giving you something for free, then you're going to have to sit there and listen to something that you don't want to listen to is started because people don't want to listen to church because they don't want to be told what they're doing is wrong or a sin. They just want to be accepted and loved, which has been the theme of at least our country for a while now. So it is very difficult to like try to transverse those waters of how is it that church should be appealing to somebody so that they want to go, but also understand that it's necessary if they don't feel like going. When I went out to dinner with my family tonight, uh, it was said that church needs to be as important or more important than a job. So the same amount of importance that you put on attending your job every day needs to be what you look at as church. It's necessary. It's not something that you look forward to doing, but yet you go and do it every day because you need money. You need to survive. You need to be able to buy things. You need church in the same way. It helps you survive spiritually. Now, yes, it might not, you're not going to get money or food for a month if you go to church every Sunday, but you will get such a satisfying like spiritual connection when you find the right church. Obviously, I'm not saying every church is perfect. None of them are, but when you go to a church that is preaching Bible-based lessons and sermons and Sunday schools and everything like that, you start to just literally change into a different person, and you can look back over time and see how you've changed. So it has been hard for me to kind of think about what can I do to kind of get people into church, specifically, well, my church, because everybody, it's my church, so I know that what we're teaching is Bible based, so I want to make sure as many people are exposed to that as I can. But still, I mean, if you pass out free ice cream, most people are thinking, I'm not going to stop and take a popsicle because then I'm going to have to sit there and listen to why I'm wrong or something. Because a lot of churches say that don't do this, don't do this, no that, not that, do this instead. Instead of discussing why the Bible is saying to not do certain things and to do other things instead. So I think a lot of churches go about it the wrong way, and that's where the stigma came from. Because when you think Christianity, at least in America, or I guess you could say around the world, I'm guessing, but like Catholicism is the main like form of Christianity. And for anybody who didn't know, when you have Christian, it's like it starts up here with, oops, sorry, like Christianity. I should have made a diagram for you guys. But you start like up here with Christianity, and then it branches into different, you have Catholicism, you have like Baptist, we're Lutheran. So like there's a bunch of different branches that the Christian faith comes down into. And then those, separate even further, because like Lutheran, we have different branches of Lutheran, and Catholicism, you have different branches of Catholicism. So anyway, when you think of Christianity, a lot of people think Catholicism and Christianity are just like the same thing, and that's what every Christian is Catholic and every Catholic is Christian, So it's kind of predetermined that that's how it is, and unfortunately, that kind of like a lot of people that I've known who have gone to a Catholic church have told me that they're very strict, and they are. I've heard a lot of Catholic churches are very strict, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, because as a Lutheran Church, Missouri Synod Church, we're also very strict on a lot of things that are in the Bible. The thing that I've heard that people don't like about Catholicism is that it is a very much, no, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do this. You have to come to confession if you do this, and, do all of that stuff. So it's more of a, just telling a toddler, for instance, no, don't stick your hand in the frying pan when it's on fire or being warmed or whatever, because you're just telling them no. But if you would like sit down and explain, like, that's going to hurt you if you do that. That's why I'm telling you not to do it. They start to understand that the reasons that we say no, don't do this, are because we're loved and we're being told the correct way on how to live our lives, to avoid being hurt. So I think there's a lot of like difficulty, and the church is partially responsible for it. Sorry, I don't know what that was. So that's where it's even more difficult to kind of just try to like turn it around and start to show people that church isn't bad. There might have been like bad churches before, but you have to understand that like some things that you're doing are wrong, and it is going to be a life change, but you have to do it in a way that you're not just telling them no, 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 and explaining to them why. So it's something difficult, very, very much so, at least for me in my role as the outreach leader. But I was just curious, like what everybody thinks about this kind of stuff. How does church have to be fun for you? Because, a lot of people don't like to go to church unless it's, like all happy, smiley-go-lucky faces, and everybody's, like standing around waving their arms in the air. That's not even, I don't like that kind of church personally. Whether or not there's anything wrong with that, that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm just saying that a lot of people do that. And when they see a more conservative church, they're turned off from it because it's, oh, well, that's just boring. That's not something that I'm going to have fun doing. But in reality, there's a lot more to it than just having fun or not. So getting that message across to certain people in the right way is the task that, we need to figure out, and how to get specifically, the younger generation into church, because they're the ones that obviously are going to lead it into the next, generations to come and their children, and to keep it going instead of having it die out. So anyway, those are just my thoughts for today. And it seems like I make these videos longer than the ones where I feel like I would have been reading forever, because the next Leviticus chapter is 37 verses long. But anyway, apologize for that, but hopefully you guys like this kind of video. Hope to do more of them in the future if I think of good, some good topics to talk about. I was blessed with this idea from earlier today, so thank you for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.